Welcome back to Small Camp Geek Squad. So, as you can tell by a lot of the things I do on my channel is Percy Jackson related. Now, they're my favourite book series, and I think they're a billion times better than Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings put together. But today we're not going to be talking about Percy Jackson, even though I do believe my next video on this channel is Percy Jackson. But today what we're going to be talking about, as you can tell by the title, is Jodie Whittaker a good doctor? Now this is going to be based on some facts and some opinions. So if you have your own opinions, let me know in the comment below. But a lot of the time people say they like her or don't like her. It is based on her gender, you know. It's either people who are sexist, which I haven't met many of, or it's people too scared of looking sexist that they like her. So I'm going to try and get facts and objectives and opinions about this that aren't really based on anything to do with her sex. Now, a lot of people think she's underrated and a lot of people think she's overrated. But there are some facts that we need to look at when talking about Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. So, Doctor Who has attracted its worst ratings since Jodie's reign of Doctor Who began. And yes, some of this is due to sexism, but I think a lot of it is down to just, well, the season itself, the seasons, should I say. The viewers dropping by thousands, not just, like, a few hundred, which is still bad enough, but thousands. For example, after the episode Orphan 55 came out, it was down by 410,000 views from the previous episode. And that's not even one of the biggest drops. There's even bigger drops. Like the third episode of Series 12 was down 710,000 from the first two parters. Now those were pretty decent, good parters, obviously. They're not the best, but I'm saying they were pretty good they're amazing compared to her previous season. But still, her third episode was down 710,000. Which kind of shows that people really don't connect or like this Doctor. Someone not to miss the obvious, Jodie is a female Doctor. Unlike all the others who are male. Now, my opinion with this is that they should have made a little bit more of a fuss of it in the first few episodes. I wouldn't say that. I don't mean like, oh yeah, I've got an upgrade like they did in season 12, because that's stupid. That's a little bit sexist. But, for example, have the Doctor talk about recalibrating the balance after falling over because of not being used to having boobs. Having the Doctor constantly refer to herself as a him. Things like that. It's just simple things, but have the Doctor keep forgetting and, I don't know, make him talk more about the differences, or her in this case now. Anyway, that's not really that important. I mean, it would have just been something nice, and as a man, I can tell you, if a man turned into a female, it's that they would not be able to help commenting on how weird it is and how weird it all feels. And I don't mean sexualize it for anyone who's thinking that, because that is a big no-no. You don't want to sexualize these characters. I mean, not more so than there already is, But we're going to go off the female part now, because that's the only bit I really need to talk about that. And let's go on, why her Doctor has been so divisive. Divisive?
No! Shouldn't be doing any of this. Ooh. Should be fine. What's that? Do you two know what that is?
It's a tent.
No, obviously it's a tent. I meant... Oh, never mind.
It's too dangerous.
I eat danger for breakfast. I don't. I prefer cereal. Or croissants. Or there's a little fried Portuguese Never mind, it's not important. Is anyone excited? Because I'm really excited.
You won't be if it's a bomb.
Don't kill the vibe, Graham. That nap did me the world of good. That's what you're going with? Yep. Got any cash? Empty pockets. Oh, is that your intruder alert or mine?
It's the doorbell.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Now, those are showing some of the funny scenes of Jodie. Because there are a few funny, but she's just a bland... Well, not really bland, but more of a safe mashup of previous Doctors. As you'll see in a second, I'll show you a clip that is a lot like one of the scenes from the 10th Doctor. And she's pretty much just all the Doctors mashed up into a safe version. And I think she shouldn't have been a safe option. You know, she should have been more of a daring option. Doesn't mean her character needs to be daring, but they should have gone, you know, more daring with the choice of the Doctor. But having said that, some of these moments were funny. Like, that moment you literally just saw. I found that funny as hell.
Am I being weird?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm trying to do small talk. I thought I was doing quite well. No, don't.
Now, those scenes are pretty much trying to get the same thing. The Doctor still struggles with, like, certain human things, you know? But 10th was, I don't know, it's just better than what she did. Hers was too much on the nose, as if trying to say, oh, look at her, she's awkward, you know? But it's just a bland... It's literally repeating and imitating all the previous Doctors. And it's not Jodie's fault, it's how she was written. You know, and it's mannerisms like that and certain things like that. And as I mentioned before, she doesn't act like the Doctor probably would at realising he was a girl. Now, we're getting on to more of the, like, less picky things like that. Well, being bland isn't nitpicky. But the first series had no overall story arc, which, you know, it really benefits when it does. Not when it's like every episode is like leading to a bigger thing, but like something where there's mentions and it pays off at the end of the season. And even so, a lot of the stories were bland and boring and bad. They just were, you know. The best one was probably Kablam in series 11. And in pretty much the epitome of this next point, which was lackluster villains, was so much more in season 11 than season 12. They did improve it, but still in season 12, a lot of the villains were lackluster. And even the companions, you know, in the first season, Graham was the only good character. And I think in season 12, his second season, I think he got worse. And I think everyone else maybe stepped up the game a little, just a little. But having too much companions straight from the off, it would have been better if they introduced them slowly over the course of the first season, you know. I'm going to skim over the next few points and only talk about them briefly, as this video has been getting on a bit in time, sitting at 9 minutes already. But I'm going to talk about her time in the TARDIS as a whole has been average at a stretch. And it's not because of her. I don't think she was the right fit for the character, but I still enjoy her episodes. They're just bad. And there's too many ex machinas in her time. And I know it's every Doctor has lots of ex machinas, but she just seems to have more. She hasn't dominated the scene. The Doctor comes in and dominates the scene, you know. You see it a lot in the 10th Doctor and 11th, well, in all the previous Doctors, but she hasn't really done that very well or as much. The writing has been bad. The TARDIS has seemed weaker, you know, lots of things being able to get in or harm it, or almost, it just feels weaker. I don't know what it is, that could just be me. Her first season ignored so much of the previous lore set up in Doctor Who because it wanted to be too much of its own, and I think that's what kind of ruined it, because you need the lore in Doctor Who. I can understand wanting to make more new villains and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine, but you can't really ignore the lore that's in Doctor Who. She doesn't seem threatening, and neither do a lot of the villains, you know. It's just they don't seem as threatening as all the other incarnations have faced, and she doesn't seem as threatening, you know? The Doctor seems like someone who, if you get on his bad side, he's very well threatening, you know? Does no presence or standout characteristics. Now when I say no presence, she doesn't have that presence the others had. She has a presence, but it's just not as strong, you know what I mean? And her Doctor seems to be pushed over a little bit too much. And a lot of her characteristics are just other Doctor characteristics that they've adopted, no new ones. She hadn't had the impact like Ninth did. In her first season, everyone's like, oh, well, she's only had one season, how can she do it? Well, the Ninth Doctor had one season, and he's a way better Doctor than she's ever been. 10 introduced himself in that first season. No, was it his best season? No. His last season was his best season. But his first season, he introduced him. Matt Smith, yet again, great first season. You know, they all introduced him, you knew exactly what they were about, and they were good. But hers wasn't so much. She's the least memorable Doctor. In all of Doctor Who history, do I think she's the worst? No, not by far. I think she's really enjoyable, and she's an average Doctor. But there are some bad Doctors out there, but we'll talk about them some other point. But I think she's the least memorable, because at least you remember the others. Her first series was bad, / terrible, with only a few good moments, you know, like making her Sonic, Kablam, Resolution of the Daleks, you know, things like that. Her second season was a lot better. It was average at best, but there were some good moments, good twists in there, but a little bit too many twists. But I think if that was her first season, not many people would dislike her, you know, because it would have been an average first season, a good first season. But with yes, the without the Timeless Child in the first season, I think it would be roundabouts just below the level of David Tennant's first season, which, you know, because I think his first season is average / good, you know, at best. But I think hers is around there. But because of her first season and the Timeless Child twist, it's kind of tarnished her a bit. And as I just mentioned, the Timeless Law, I think it ruined the lore of Doctor Who. But I'll explain how it did that in another video. So, my thoughts on the 13th Doctor, Jodie, is that she's an average Doctor at best. Now, the reasoning why is because, well, her views have gone down drastically, but I don't think that's fully her fault. Jodie wasn't the best casting for it, ruining the lore and not having the presence or uniqueness as the other Doctors. And do I think you can have fun watching these videos, like her episodes? Yes. No, her fun episodes aren't as fun as, say, the likes of Matt Smith's fun episodes or any of the other fun episodes, but you can still enjoy her video. That's why for me she's an average Doctor at best, like bad / average, which isn't that bad because there are other Doctors that I'd rank below her. But do I think she's the best Doctor? Far from it. From her predecessors, from the 9th to 12th Doctor, she's nowhere near them on the scale, you know. I might do a tier list or even just a normal regular ranking video later down the line, maybe in a few weeks, maybe after my 8-week plan for this channel, or I might slightly switch up my 8-week plan for this channel, as I was thinking of doing that, because I've got the next 8 videos planned. Anyway, I'll try and get these videos shorter and more fun for you guys, so if you have any ideas on how I can do that, please leave a comment below. Please leave a like if you agree, and leave any your points down below if you think I got anything wrong or anything else to add.